Welcome everyone to our Saturday chat series. We are now on episode 8. I can't believe how time is flying. So we're going to do a little recap, and I have a lot of questions as well. So last week, if you watched my last week's videos, Van Life Gathering 2017, it was a huge success. Great turnout. We had over 100 in attendance. This was basically, the event itself was free. It was just held on a campground that has a $20 a night fee, so it was basically $20 a night to camp there. It was a Friday, Saturday, and a Sunday, so 3 nights, really 2 full days. What a great time. Huge turnout. Everyone got along great. We had all sorts of activities to do. It was just a blast. The influence from the Macaw tribe and their interaction. What amazing event. I walked away from that event completely inspired. I'll tell you what, this younger generation that are living this van life are on fire. Just their passion, their positive outlook and hopes for our future is just amazing. Really amazing community out there. So I'm not going to go on too long about that. I feel like I captured it fairly well in my videos. Of course, I'm my own worst critic, and I felt like it's just so hard for me, express what I experience in a video format. I do my best to do it, and it's just nothing like actually being there. But like I said, I really feel like I did a okay job of giving you a general idea of kind of what was going on, the vibe there, and what a great time. Big thanks to everyone that helped organize it. Again, if going on one of the questions that I will be addressing, how do I find out about these events? Social media. Instagram is my main go-to social media. It's where I connect and stay connected with a lot of people in this lifestyle. When I'm out on the road and I meet people, we always exchange Instagram accounts. I like Instagram over Facebook because it's just so much more personal. There's not all this sharing and reposting of these memes and political stuff and stuff I don't care about. Instagram is just like people and their photos. That's it. And that's what I love about it. So it's a great way to stay connected. You can private message through it. And so I saw a post about this gathering and inquired about it, found the location, and showed up. So it was a blast. I have been to a few gatherings now since I've been in this lifestyle, and the majority of my experience are at the RTR gatherings in Quartzsite, Arizona in the winter. These are put on Bob Wells. He has a website, cheaprvliving.com. You can find about those there. I found about this van life gathering through Van Life Diaries, who I mentioned in the video. They're based out of Australia. They do a lot of organizing of van life gathering events, so you can follow Van Life Diaries on their website, or you can check out Bob Wells. What I've noticed is Van Life Diaries is more of the younger crowd. Bob Wells and his RTR is more of the retired crowd, although as Bob's gatherings are getting bigger, there's quite a mix of all different age groups. But I really feel like it's just the influence. Bob is a retired age person, so he attracts more of that crowd. Van Life Diaries and like Where's My Office Now, they're the younger crowd, so of course they're going to attract the younger crowd. We all get along. There was young and old at both of these events, all of these events that I've been to. So I get a little bit from both groups. Being in my mid-40s, I've noticed that I've always been the type of person that has respect for my elders and enjoy spending time with people that have more life experience. I love hearing their stories and their take and perspectives on life. But I also really enjoy hanging out with people younger than me. I've found that if you approach them with a humble, open mind, you can learn a lot from our younger generations. Their positivity, energy, and ideas, forward-thinking ideas, are really something special, and I try to really remember that I can learn so much from people younger than me, and I feel like that's really important. So that was one of the things I walked away from this event, is just really fired up. I was inspired by, in particular, about 3 younger, probably in their early 20s. One guy was a musician, another guy was fresh out of college, architect, graphic artist, and then another woman that was into doing crafts. And just their passion towards what they were doing and their ideas about what they were going to do with their skills was really inspiring to me, and really made me look at myself and my talents and skills. And as a creative person, that's a life struggle, is trying to do something with your creative talents and your desires to share with people and inspire other people. And it's just hard to actually make it a part of your life. So when you meet other people that are trying to do that or actually doing it, it's very inspiring for somebody like me. I met another filmmaker, YouTuber there that I had not met or even heard of before. So I'm going to talk a little bit about him soon. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the questions here. Okay, we do have a lot of questions this week, so I probably will split them up and do half of them this week, the next half next Saturday. A lot of quick ones, so let's get into it. Do I carry a lot of cash with me on the road? This person was concerned about, of course, theft and just not being comfortable having a lot of cash on them. I have not found the need to carry a lot of cash. I usually do not have more than $20 in cash with me at any given time. I've found that this day and age, debit, credit cards, I use a debit card, I don't use credit cards. My debit card I can use almost anywhere. The places where I haven't been able to use it and I've needed to pay for something like a campground fee, they usually accept checks if you don't have exact change. So yeah, I've found it not very necessary to carry a lot of cash on me. Another question is, of course, what cell service do I use? I answer this a lot. I have Cricket Wireless for my cell phone, and I have a Verizon wireless hotspot. I have two different services to kind of, as backup, sometimes I don't have one of those services. The service is not working, and say Cricket doesn't work, but Verizon does. Sometimes it's vice versa. I am having some issues with Verizon. I'm going to go in and see if I can adjust my plan. They're capping my data, so it's slowing down and taking like 7 hours to upload a video, which is unacceptable. So I do need to follow up on that. But so far, I'm fairly happy with the coverage and the prices. Next question. This person has a minivan. They're worried about their clearance with the minivan going into the lot of spots that I camp, the boondocking spots. I would say you'll be fine. I don't think a minivan has any less clearance than my van. My van isn't lifted or has big tires or anything. So the most of the spots I go, I would say you'd be fine. Okay, next question kind of goes along with that, with the clearance issue. I've had a lot of people, some of my recent videos, the camp spots I've gone into. Have I considered four-wheel drive or putting a winch on the van? On the four-wheel drive topic, it's funny, I just had a conversation with a few people in a group. Actually two of the people in the group actually had four-wheel drive or have it on their vehicles. And the big kind of joke with people that have four-wheel drive vehicles is, it doesn't keep you from getting stuck. You just end up getting stuck further in or deeper in the wilderness. And I believe that's true, and most people that actually have experience with four-wheel drive vehicles will tell you that. For me, the four-wheel drive thing, and for most people I've talked to, it's more of an activity. That's something that, people that have these heavy four-wheel drive vehicles, that's what they do with them. They just enjoy four-wheel driving. They enjoy going on terrain that's not really meant for a vehicle and being able to conquer it and the thrill and all of that. My thing is, and this is these day and age, everyone's so sensitive, I'm sure this is going to hurt someone's feelings. I'm not into four-wheel drive. I have no desire to go deeper into the wilderness that I'm going. I feel like that it's that way for a reason, as far as respect for the land and not having an impact on the land and tearing up the land with your vehicle. I feel like the four-wheel drive vehicles promote people to go off the beaten path more, which just tears up the natural land. So that's not really my thing. I feel like if I wanted to get deeper into the wilderness to camp, I would just park my van and have a backpack and tent and walk and hike in rather than use a four-wheel drive vehicle. It's just not my thing. I'm just not into it. Most of the people I've talked to, I know a lot of people that have had four-wheel drive vehicles and they've given them up. They've just realized that all it really does for them is just gets them further in, and then they end up having problems. Sometimes it's not the four-wheel drive that goes out. They just have an engine problem, and now that because they have a four-wheel drive vehicle, there are miles and miles and miles and miles in the wilderness, and now their vehicle won't start. So four-wheel drive doesn't help you there. So that's my take on four-wheel drive. We'll move on. Next question, what do I use for editing software? I use Sony Vegas, which is now discontinued. A company called, I believe, Magix bought out those programs and released a new version. I've seen the new version, and I don't like the looks of it. I don't know if it's at all the same. They're calling it Magix Vegas Movie Studio or something. I have the old Sony version. I'm very happy with it. So that's what I use for editing. Next question I got is on fishing on the road. As far as getting fishing licenses in different states as a non-resident, I do have a fishing pole with me. I've used it a few times. I think the last fishing license I got was in Idaho, in Boise, when I was hanging out with Craig. I think I got a 3-day license. It was like $16 for the first day and $12 for the consecutive days after that. And for somebody like me, that can add up if you're for like the mindset of like, oh, you could be like having free food and fishing on the road. For the cost of the fishing license to the amount of fish that you can catch and keep and eat, it's not cost effective. You can go to a fish market and get fresh fish for much cheaper. Of course, you get the enjoyment of fishing and all that, but I'm just not that into fishing. It's only mildly enjoyable for me. So for the cost and the hassle of having to set up, getting the fishing license and pick the set amount of days, it just doesn't work out for me. Next question I got is, how are the bugs in the Pacific Northwest during the summer? Guys, I've been lucky with bugs. I have not had any bugs since I left San Diego this spring. It's been amazing. I had a couple spots where in the evening dusk hours, a few came out, but nothing like horrible at all. So knock on wood, been real lucky. Here's a good one. What's my favorite van meal to have by myself or with others? And definitely for myself and with others, tacos are the way to go. I love tacos. I was talking with someone about this recently, about how it's just like one of the best meals. I can eat tacos almost every day of the week. There's just so many different variations, chicken, beef, vegetarian, all the different toppings, sauces you can use. It just never gets old for me. And they're fairly easy to prepare, although I found the tacos I enjoy the most have multiple ingredients. That's what makes them so enjoyable, is you have all these different textures and flavors. So there's more prep, more cleanup, but it's usually worth it. And I found that tacos make great leftovers, as far as I can prepare up like a bunch of chicken, chop it up, have the tacos, and then have leftover chicken for a night, maybe the next night or a couple nights from them. Save that chicken, all the stuff I chopped up, the onions and tomato and cheese and all that, put it in plastic bags, put it in the fridge, and then a couple nights later I can have tacos again and have all those ingredients already prepared. Cuts down on prep time and cleanup. So yeah, tacos for me are like the go-to van meal. Do I watch any other YouTube van dwellers? Well, as a YouTube van dweller, I don't watch a whole lot. I'm subscribed to quite a few people that I've met on the road that are YouTubers, and I check in with them every now and then, watch their thumbnails to see what they're up to. But for the most part, I watch YouTube to kind of escape from my life, like a lot of people watch TV and stuff. So I watch more like comedy stuff. I do watch some backcountry survival channels. So yeah, don't watch a lot of other van dwelling YouTubers, although one of the people I met at this gathering, Ron, does have a YouTube channel. He's a filmmaker, a young filmmaker, very talented. His channel is Ron Van Life. I would recommend checking out Ron's channel. He's super talented and doing a very different, interesting way of documenting his life in a van on the road. I would recommend going to his playlists. He only has a handful of videos, and they're in episodes. There's 4 episodes, and there's 3 parts to each episode. They're not very long, the parts, and they just flow very well with each other. And if you watch it in a playlist, you get to follow the actual chronological story that he was going for. So go check out Ron Van Life. Super stoked to have met him. Super inspiring. Now that I've watched his work, he's doing a really neat thing. Then also my buddy John, I interviewed a while back. He's doing expediting in a Sprinter van. He's got a little dog with him, Lucy. He is now making YouTube videos. It's called Small Spaces, Big Places is his channel. I'll put links for these guys in the video description. And he's doing a lot of informational videos, not posting too frequently, but giving a lot of good information if you're interested in expediting on the road in a van. It's a good way to make money and travel and live on the road. So yeah, those 2 guys, check out. I highly recommend it. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. We covered all the questions. So if you have any more questions, go ahead and leave those in the comment section of this video, and we'll answer them in the next video. As far as my plans for the upcoming week, they're pretty loose. I'm going to be doing some meetups here fairly soon, so we'll have that to come here in the future. Still hanging out up in the Olympic Peninsula in Washington. I always have trouble saying peninsula. It's beautiful country up here, guys. It's just amazing. The green, the trees, it's just fantastic. Combination of the ocean, coast, and all the trees. It's just been amazing. Loving it, loving it. So yeah, be hanging out here for a little bit longer. A lot of questions on if I'm going to make the eclipse in Oregon with the path of totality. Really not sure. Not super hyped about the eclipse. I don't know why. Maybe as it gets closer, my mind will change. So yeah, I just wanted to extend a big thank you guys for all you following along. You guys are like my support group here. I really appreciate it. This has become a very, very exciting journey here, and I'm stoked to have you along. Got more to come into the future, so we'll see you in the next video. Take care, everyone. Peace.